and welcome once again to the United States Arm Wrestling Championships, brought to you by Professional Arm Wrestling Conference. My name's Neil Pickup, and we've got an action-packed show for you once again from Las Vegas, Nevada, the city of entertainment. And today, in show number 3, we're back with the big boys. We got the 242s and the supers. So this is what arm wrestling's all about, the monsters. If you want to see monsters, I've got one sat to my left. It's the ultimate arm wrestler himself, the legend, John Brzezinski. John,
hey Neil.
Welcome back again, mate.
All right, we're at my class.
We're ready to go.
My
We've
way.
been waiting for this one now. We've had 2 shows, and you've been sat there itching to get to this very day, mate.
I know these guys very well.
This is where we review it. What's the difference in power there? Is there any?
I don't think there's much difference. In fact, the 242-pound class was a lot deeper class in Vegas than the heavyweight class was. I mean, there was, the top 3-4 guys in the heavyweight class were probably a little stronger than 242s, but the 242s went really deep.
So this is going to be serious today. We got the best of the power, the best of the technique, but these guys have got to do it within a certain rule format. And first of all, before we get things underway with the action, let's take a little look at the rules involved in the sport of arm wrestling.
First, you must get a grip in less than a minute, or the referee will put you in a grip. Your elbow must keep contact with the pad at all times. Your free hand must always touch the peg. Start after the referee says, "Ready, go." To win, you must pin your opponent's hand to the opposing touchpad. Any violation of these rules will lead to a foul. 2 fouls, and you lose. This is a double elimination tournament run on a bracket system, meaning if you lose twice, you are out of the tournament.
This has been an incredibly long weekend, and the guys that you're going to see in our finals have had to battle their way up through some of the best international competition from all around the world. They came from Russia, they came from all the countries of Europe, facing the domestic talent. Let's have a little look at how things went down in our preliminary matchups and the heats throughout the day in Las Vegas. Here we go. This is the action from the preliminaries and the heats throughout the day in Vegas. And what about that man, John? Marcio Barboza there in the red shirt. What an animal he is, and he's going to be in the up to 242s this year, so you've got a chance to avoid him.
Yeah, Marcio's tough. Ron Bath, Sylvain Perron. There was a mix of quite a few powerhouses.
And I know these guys are all going to be celebrating the fact that you've decided not to go into the 242s this year. You're going, obviously, into the heavies, the super heavy class, and that makes a big difference. Marcio Barboza maybe started as favourite, and we caught up with him for an interview. Are you going to be the man to beat here in Las Vegas?
I think so. I'm going to do my best to be the best guy.
I know there's a lot of people that say arm wrestling's all about just power and endurance and grinding out results. Every time we see you go to the table, you seem to just explode up there. Your hits are so fast. How do you work on that intensity?
I think it's just all in my mind. I never, work something special for speed. It's natural for me. And I got so excited when I got the table, and I used whatever I have.
Marcio Barboza there, a man who sounded very confident, very comfortable. He was singing with Michael Todd, and that's the guy that upset Marcio in a super match earlier.
Super match, just about a month ago. They had a 6-match war that Michael Todd came on top.
And Michael's the guy we haven't mentioned yet, really.
Today's a little different, though. Marcio was able to handle Michael Todd earlier in the preliminary match there.
Wow. And that looks like a guy who's brimming over with confidence here, the man from Brazil, Marcio Barboza. And that's in the 242 class. We got a little bit of action coming up now from our prelims through today, featuring some of the even bigger boys from the super heavyweight class. And if you want big boys, they don't come any bigger than the guy in the red shirt there, the Austrian giant, August Smeasel, super heavyweight world champion. But what a tough day he had. We can see him here with Brian Bilby. And Brian getting the better of the giant Austrian there.
He takes control in the straps, he executes the top roll, and Brian is just stoked.
And here we go. This is you with Farid Usmanov in the heats earlier today.
He takes my hand without the straps, so we slip grips, and I get him in the straps and take control.
And that was just an absolute turning point for you today, and I must admit, if anything's going to give you confidence, that must be it.
That match did, yes, definitely. it wasn't an easy win for me, so I knew I had my work cut out for me, especially pulling 2 classes, but yeah, it definitely boosted my confidence.
We saw in our last show an event that everybody was looking to see. It was Heidi Anderson against Barb Zalepa. The equivalent of that in the supers is yourself and Mr. Usmanov, the guy we just saw in the prelims there. You got that edge over him, but that final, wow, what an incredible battle lined up there. And you can see now August Smeasel
with the press,
with
big
the
tricep.
Clay Rosenkrantz, what a guy this is. He's been wrestling since the year dot.
Yeah, 20, 25 years now. Clay Rosenkrantz, the old-timer in the sport, still dangerous as ever.
And absolutely hammering away. You can see how hard our guys have had to work to get through to this final series of matches. All day they've been fighting against an international field, and this is going to be ferocious competition. How tired are they going to be before the finals, John?
Well, that's the key. That's the importance of these prelims, is to get your matches over with quickly.
How much do you think your experience as an arm wrestler assists you in this kind of competition where you've got a real mixed bag? You've got guys coming in who are young and hungry. You've got guys coming in who've been in the sport for years and know it all. Do you think, as one of those guys with the experience under your belt, that gives you a big advantage out there?
It definitely gives you the advantage because some of the younger kids, they'll look at you and you might get part of a win just because of your reputation. And I've had people already quit the minute we said go because, hey, man, it's Ron Bath. But then at the same time, if you get in a long war and a long battle, you know what you're looking for, you know, while you're at the table. You know, you might be in a hook and you might be trying to work out on the fingers. You know what he's trying to do. So you just try to develop that kind of skill.
Mr. Ron Bath, John Brezink, you know this guy inside out. You fellas have been competing against each other for so long.
Iron, inside, outside, doesn't really matter. Ron's tough all over the table.
And Ron sounding very real and very candid in his interview there. He's an honest guy, and he's going to be right up amongst it. We have got some incredible stuff lined up today, there's no doubt about it. And I can honestly say, I wouldn't like to call this in anybody's favour. Marcio Barboza, I've seen him competing this year and he just looks electric. Sylvain Perron, a dark horse in there, the experience of Ron Bath. We have got some phenomenal matches lined up.
It's going to be explosive.
We're going to take a short break and then we'll be back. We're now into the serious stuff, mate. It's the last 4 in these 2 weight divisions. And we got some monsters packed into this one. Travis Badgent in there. We got Schaefer in there, Wolfell, left-handed, right-handed. It's all going to be thunder and lightning. Let's take a look at the early stages of the finals. Rob Bigwood, he's a young man with a lot of potential. How much do you know about this young man?
He's solid, he's strong, and he's strong on a hook. And he executed it very well there, left-handed.
Yeah, look, very, very serious competitor, and that looks like the familiar red shirt, and it is.
Marcio Barboza from Brazil, yes, sir. And he's pulling Sylvain Perron from Canada here in a tough left-hand match.
So it's
Marcio is so powerful left-handed. He dominated this class today.
Now, here's a man we haven't seen so far this evening.
He dropped out of the right-handed class early in the tournament. He had a bad draw, but he's a contender left-handed, and he's a favorite to win it lefty.
Self-proclaimed king of arm wrestling, Travis Badgent there. We have also got guys like this young man, August Smeasel. Did he become any bigger?
Against Bob Schaefer. Bob Schaefer's got a tremendous press, and he executes it very well here against August.
Showing that experience against a world-class competitor. John Brezink, let's see what you thought today.
How's it going, Neil?
Not as good as you, mate. Unbelievable stuff. Quick question for you, John, which I'm sure everybody wants to know at home. You are widely regarded as the best arm wrestler in the world. Others say it, you are it. How much pressure does that put on a man like you when you come and put your arm on that table?
Well, you know, I've been doing it for 25 years now, so I've gotten used to it. But, yeah, I mean, once you've built a reputation like that, I mean, you're putting it on the line every time you step up to the table. But I still enjoy it. I get the adrenaline rush, and it's exciting, so I'm going to continue to defend.
And John Brezink, that's how you felt on the day of destiny, mate. And here you are on your way to the finals. And this was a very tough match for you. Perron of Canada.
A-side, undefeated Sylvain Perron from Canada. Yeah, it's been probably 5-6 years since I pulled him last. He was definitely solid. I hit him hard to the pad, and
he's an explosive character, Sylvain.
Very
explosive. A guy who's a real dark horse and underrated in the sport. Whoa, way early there, John.
We got into a hook, and he held me off for a second there. I was a little worried.
You look pretty solid there, and the matches keep on coming. Brian Bilby here. This is a guy who really wrestled brilliantly in Las Vegas.
Yep, he did. He beat the world champion August Smeasel in the prelims, and he was a very confident man there. He was ready to top roll me.
And you look like you're setting up to catch him on the wrist there, Jim.
I'm grabbing him a little low, making sure that I get a hold of his arm, because my arm strength is a little bit better than Brian is.
Must be so important when you're pulling guys like that who've all got different techniques. Each one brings a new element to the game, a new area of strength.
Sure, that's where the experience comes in. I mean, knowing your opponent, knowing what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are. So
you're basically shaping your own styles and techniques in order to defend against the different styles that you're going to encounter through the day.
Sure. I mean, you don't want to pull into somebody's power. You want to try to avoid their strengths as much as possible.
Interesting matchup there at the table. We've got Ron Bath and Sylvain Perron. Now, you two guys obviously just meeting there. Ron Bath is so incredibly strong and experienced, but Sylvain, such a dark horse. And now we know that you stand undefeated in that final. We've seen you walk through Bilby. We've seen you walk through everybody else in there. Who is going to face you in that final? And everybody wanted it to be Farid Usmanov. He had to get through Bilby to do it. Let's take a look how that one worked out in our semi-final matchup. Farid Usmanov and Bilby. How did you see this one going down before it kicked off?
Well, Brian Bilby's only chance was to top roll Farid Usmanov. Brian's got a strong head, he's got a strong hand, and if he could get Farid outside, he stood a good chance. But Farid Usmanov just has a tremendously strong hand, so I'm sure he's not going to have none of that.
And his face is just a picture of confidence, Usmanov there. He just seems to be reliant on that wrist and hand. Bilby loading it up, but oh, that's dominance from the man from Uzbekistan. Absolutely, look at the hit from Bilby. He's actually lifting up with the pressure, but it's all about Farid Usmanov there, John.
Perfect hit. Bilby did everything he could. He just needs to go home and get stronger.
What can you say about that, man? And you must have been nervous getting ready for this final.
I was nervous. You know, I've seen some of his prelim matches, and he was slamming people left and right, so I really didn't know what to expect.
We are about to find out. We got to take a short break right now, and then you'll see the big man getting stuck into it. Hello, 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 we are back. And it's finals time in the Professional Arm Wrestling Conference United States Arm Wrestling Championship, Show 3, and this is serious stuff. We're going into the finals now, and John, I've never seen you look better than you did in this little series. Let's take a look how the finals went down, starting with the 242s. It's the left hand and Barbosa, Brazil, against a new kid on the block, the ferocious Tom Nelson, John.
Tom Nelson, a hell of a top roller from California against Marcio Barbosa from New York. Marcio is a tremendous puller, left-handed. He's going to be hitting hard and hitting fast.
Brazil's finest. They don't come any more explosive than Barbosa. And Tom Nelson is a guy who is furiously intense.
Yeah, he's not intimidated by anybody.
A young man lacking respect, some would say, but he's certainly passionate about his sport. And you can see how important the grip is there. Both guys trying to get the very best grip. How important is getting the perfect grip to getting everything right?
It's everything in the sport of arm wrestling.
Oh, look at that, Barbosa.
Marcio just puts the tricep smash on Tom Nelson's attempted top roll.
Absolutely arrow, straight to the pad and furious intensity. He's got one more to do.
Right, Marcio got put in the loser bracket, that's correct. So Tom had one loss to give. But Marcio is looking pretty confident right about now.
Absolutely. Marcio obviously...
Tom's trying different tactics there. He's trying to pull Marcio over, get him in his head a little bit, say, hey, you know, this is where you're headed. But
you can see,
I don't think Marcio's have any of that.
The intensity that this young man brings to the table. Tom Nelson...
Yeah, you don't... Tom's got to be careful. He doesn't want to upset Marcio too much. Marcio will turn into a real beast here in a second.
And Nelson taking it to a new dimension in Vegas. He's just trying to really get into the head and unsettle Marcio. But Marcio's so experienced, John, surely that's not going to be effective on this.
No, it's just creating a monster. His adrenaline now is running through the roof. So it might be helping Tom, but it's also boosting his opponent.
Do you think? And Tom there going back to the back of the stage and getting a bit of a slapping to get himself psyched up by Michael Todd. Personally, I wouldn't like to do that because I've no doubt that Michael Todd hits pretty hard himself.
Right. He might knock you out.
But phenomenal matching prospect here, and Tom Nelson really up against it. Is it a show of nerves on his part that he's trying to get himself so psyched?
Well, he's just trying to find that little extra to stop Marcio.
Just so smooth, absolutely mentally ready for this. The experience is going to be such a big, important factor here, I suspect. And, well, that's just an illustration of excellence from Barboza. Brazil's finest, the guy who's been a multiple world champion. Oh my word, super heavyweight left-hand final, Bajent is back, the beast.
Big rematch. Eric Wafel on the left, Travis Bajent on the right.
And it's fair to say there's a bit of intensity and a little bit of needle between these two boys.
I mean, the last time these two pulled, Eric Wafel came out the winner, so Travis needs a little payback here. He beat him earlier in the prelims, so he just needs to win once to secure this title.
And Travis Bajent, he's a guy who shows a lot of elements in the sport of arm wrestling. A very cerebral arm wrestler, this guy. He takes it to different dimensions, and he's a big man with speed.
He is. He's extremely fast. He's got tremendous back pressure with a very strong hand and wrist, so he's a lethal weapon.
And arm wrestling, they say some of it's about size, but not necessarily. Wolfell, you can see there, this guy 300 pounds and not carrying fat.
300 pounds, yeah. I mean, and Travis is probably pushing 270, so yeah, there's a...
These are truly supers in every respect. And we slip there, we go onto the strap. You can see a wry smile come on the face of Travis Bajent, and that's the win. They're given that as a foul in losing position.
Yeah, the referee decided that Eric Wafel was bailing out in a bad losing position, so they gave the win to Travis Bajent.
Here we go, Mr. Brezink. You are now about to light up 242s. This was
my old pal Ron Bath. Yes, sir, yeah. Indeed. It's been a while, and I was looking forward to this.
John been looking strong at the moment, but the 242 is the first outing for you of the day. A side with no defeats, and to be honest, you looked unstoppable.
I was rolling along pretty good.
Oh, that's absolute dominance there, John. I mean, that looked pretty smooth for you, mate.
Yeah, it's been a little tougher than that in the past for me with Ron, so that was a very good win for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not go away. United States Arm Wrestling Championships. I'm sat next to the legendary John Brezink. And if you want to see why this guy was an arm wrestling legend and is an arm wrestling legend, come right back in a moment. Farid Usmanov from Uzbekistan, incredible arm wrestler and a man with such a big reputation on the other side of the pond. Yeah. How do you feel about that match today, and what have you got up your sleeve?
He scares the hell out of me. I mean, we messed around a little bit about 3 years ago. He came out to Las Vegas about 3 years ago, and we pulled after the tournament, and it was kind of a stalemate and a hook. So I thought, oh my goodness, this kid, you know, I don't know what he is. I think he's maybe 21, 22 years old. So I thought, oh, he's going to be the real deal here in a year or two. And sure enough, he's back. He won it pretty easily last year in the 240s, and he's back actually in the super heavyweights now this year. So I wanted to test him, and yeah, he's the real deal. I mean, he's strong in all areas. So it'll be interesting.
John Brezink, another defining moment, mate, in your career. And every year, you're under the spotlight. You're under the microscope. And now and again, a man like this comes up who everybody around the world perceives as a genuine threat to your title as the best.
Well, he's going to be around a long time, I can tell you that. He's a young guy. He's big. He's powerful. He keeps getting stronger every year. We pulled earlier in the prelims. I was able to get out on his hand in the strap, top roll. I've heard that he's just tremendous in the hook, so that's where I wanted to test it. And we go wrist to wrist, and
you took it in there deep, and
it turns into a war.
I mean, Usmanov is the reigning WAF World Arm Wrestling Champion. And this is as strong as it gets, and you've put him right into his sweet spot. Right. You're into his power zone, and the effort between you two there is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure there. My arm's turning white, and my head's turning red, and the sweat's starting to build awful quick. So yeah, that's 110% right there.
And both guys there, you look like you were getting out of shape a little bit, trying to maintain your position.
He's able to pull on my bicep, and he's starting to spread my arm open where I can't maintain it anymore.
And John, the first match there, going to a win from this young man from Uzbekistan. He dug you in deep, you put it into there. You knew it was going into the hook, and I know that you wanted to test him in that area.
I was a little nervous setting up with him the first time. The hook match wasn't a real aggressive hook match. It was almost kind of a catch hook match. And after I got beat, I decided that, hey, you know, I can do better. Let's do it again.
One more time.
Let's do it again.
The same soup warmed over. There was one more to do. John was A-side. Farid leveled the score 1-1. This is as real as it will ever get. We're going into this final match, John, and you've just come off a loss only seconds earlier This is a phenomenal situation and a real test of the champion.
We got about 2 minutes rest. I'm still sweating a little bit. The arm's pumped, full
You
of
can
blood.
see the arm is just swollen.
I think both of us are probably pretty much numb. You know, any one of the professional women could come up to the table now and probably beat us, but we're going to go at it again. And
you guys have burned at the same rate. You've both been in that hook now. Farid obviously knows because you told him before the match that you were going to tape it deep into that hook again.
Right.
And this now is a real test of top end. What had you changed strategically going into this last pull?
Well, in the first match, I was testing all over the table, you know, trying to pull him outside, inside a little bit, trying to push, and I just got in a comfortable position here in the hook and hoped that he would burn out a little bit.
Farid going at you crazy from the goal there. Dive straight in, and look at the top end. He's diving to take that pin. Maybe a little bit of desperation to get you out of there.
Yeah, I could feel him weakening there. Every time he hit, I could gain a little bit of an advantage, a little bit more.
So you're gaining.
I was just waiting him out, trying to get him to commit away from his arm a little bit before I hit to the pad.
I noticed the breathing there. A bit of a hit, and then again you readjust your body shape, moving the elbow, trying to get him off that shoulder. Phenomenal power there in the tricep as well, but you didn't make it.
No, he's got me spread out away from my arm where I can't really use the tricep move.
Little move again there. Trying to get more leverage and a top roll attempt.
Try to top roll, yeah. Now I got the tricep in a little bit better on his bicep.
Diving in there, so close on that occasion. You must have been thinking, oh, have I overcooked it?
No.
And Farid one last massive ditch, and then the tricep. Oh, that is the one.
It's over, it's over.
And then, yeah, a look of absolute relief. And that is a phenomenally deep position that you got in with him there. And I think it's fair to say, John, that in all the years of arm wrestling that you've had and all the matches that you've won around the world, that there is a demonstration of being tested to your absolute limits in every area of the game.
Yeah, when I lost the first match, I looked down at Michael Todd, and he yelled at me, you got to have more heart, you know, and I thought to myself, okay, just more heart. And
dig in.
Dig in. So
every bit left at the table.
It worked out good, but it could have went either way. We were so close.
So many times in that match, you looked like either man was just about to take the match, and then all of a sudden, fortune's reversed. They just turned on the head of a coin.
Yeah, they could have went either way.
What an arm wrestling
I'm sure
match.
he's going to be stronger next time, so I'm going to have to get stronger too.
Surely one of the greatest arm wrestling matches of all time, and definitely the greatest arm wrestler of all time, Mr. John Brezink, showing you what you're made of when you come to this table. There's only been one. Ladies and gents, I hope you've enjoyed that. That was Professional Arm Wrestling Conference at its best with the United States Arm Wrestling Championships. I'm Neil Pickup and John Brezink, and we will be back